Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Dee, about to react to this Abba and Preach vid. It's titled What Everyone Missed. This is regarding the Akaash and his wife's situation again. I'm sure this will be the very last video, but a few people have told me to react to this, so sure. We're going to see what was missed and, you know, what's going on now. Let's watch.
There's a fascinating phenomenon going around with the concept of chastity and virginity. Pokemon.
Can I tell you a secret? I'm really into celibacy, and that can range from not kissing on the first date to saving yourself for marriage. It's a whole spectrum.
Did y'all catch that?
It's not the same thing.
I'm really into celibacy, and that can range from not kissing on the first date.
That's not what celibacy is. Isn't it just you not having sex? It's not about kissing. So if you don't kiss on the first date, but you kiss and fuck on the second date, then you still celibate because you didn't kiss on the first date. Niggas just say anything.
So like rethink what celibacy was, because in my experience, essentially abstaining for lengthy periods of time from
having sex.
When you take a vow of celibacy,
what are you talking
it's not
about?
that means that you're still a virgin. A vow of celibacy is just a reflection of the fact that you are going to abstain for an extended period of time. Not kissing on the first date. Aesthetic of purity. It's coming back into style level. But I think one thing that's fascinating about this whole Akaash thing is that, she comes out with this podcast and she says, none of it's true, it's just a joke.
The only thing I try to do is just be myself on TikTok, but like 10 times extra.
So you're presenting this version of yourself online that's not true.
I was committing to this bit because
By the way, I never got their particular take on this whole situation because I didn't watch their video on this. I watched a different video.
that was the funny thing to do.
And I want everyone today to sit with me through this whole ordeal as if everything she said is true.
My wife also hadn't had any sexual partners, so that helped us connect a lot more.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe her?
If you've seen her, then it's hard to believe. I remember I was just like, what?
With all due respect, your wife's a piece.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I mean, she's fucking gorgeous. I mean, I hate to say this. There was a different century, and I saw you guys walking right after you got engaged.
I was gonna say,
yeah, we were in the middle of Rome, and we always talk about it. When someone's for Rome, that level is mean like she needs
for
to
Rome
be,
means?
She needs to be taken for the state.
Like she's so hot. She's so hot that she, unfortunately now, she's gone to a level where she's gone so hot she has no rights. She belongs to the emperor of Rome.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. What the fuck are we watching?
I understand their comics, and I'll be honest with you, that's crazy. But they're having a laugh. They're amongst friends. If they're okay with it, whatever. In their dynamic, despite being religious, despite being from a cultural background,
they put a lot of extras on it.
Semi-important.
I'm not saying the woman is unattractive. She is attractive, but come on. She's so hot that they acting like she's the most beautiful woman they've ever seen in their life, and whatever.
Despite being from where they're from. The idea of virginity only matters in the context of, did you get penetrated in your vagina? Yes? No? No, then you're a virgin. But that betrays the whole idea of what it means to actually be a virgin. Like conceptually, virginity back in the day was more about control and economics, right? You did that so you would, preserve your lineage, dowries, inheritance. Where you needed to be able to prove that you were your father's son. And so it was really important at that time that virginity was maintained so that people who were getting married could easily ascertain who the lineage goes on to. There was also a spiritual element, but for the vast majority of it, a lot of it was about controlling economics and social fabric. Today, in the more modern time where those kinds of things are not as important, a lot of virginity is either due to being the fact that you can't get none, you come from a cultural background where some of these old ways still exist, or from a more spiritual place where the ideas of abstinence, the ideas of waiting for someone that matters, all these things are important. Why I come to this? These two in this relationship present themselves that way, that this is like a spiritual thing. They want to share it with someone that matters.
Isn't a part of it like
I'm very proud of the glow up.
your religion though? Like you.
My dad actually had a good sex talk with me in the Gita. It says, sex is the closest you can get to heaven while on earth. But it is only that if it's with the right person.
This whole idea of virginity being this sacred thing, and that you have to have self-restraint, that you have to show respect for how you engage with sex in general.
Sure.
Then you get on here, and then dudes talking about taking your wife, whether or not her virginity is limited,
Yeah, I understand that, but it's not complex, but there's a world where I think that some people can be compartmented. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got your comedian side that conflicts necessarily with your sacred side, that conflicts with your Indian side, that conflicts with your married side. So you got your comedian side, and even in the comedian settings where it's those jokes, it's okay, compartmentalizing. Sometimes it's like a Venn diagram, and and we fit in different. So it can be sacred, but now I'm in another circle where it's not, with people that it's not. So I'll allow it, but
yeah, I disagree with that idea. I don't think you can keep saying you feel like it is a sacred thing if you then just take it, take a dump on the whole thing and then bring it back to the sacred spot. Like, you either treat this thing like it's sacred or you don't.
Or you don't.
But if you're not going to in a different context, then that's like saying, yeah, we are married, this is a covenant, but then when I go to Cancun, I'm fucking other bitches.
take it out of the sacred,
I agree.
depending on what circles you are.
You and I are very good friends. I'm not saying that's the case, but imagine.
Debatable.
A certain level of like, these are things I've told you, respect that. I go take this into another context where now I'm on stage. You've confided in me something, and it's sacred between us that I hold that secret. I get up on stage, I betray that. Am I still holding it sacred? You can't say that. I've literally gone on stage in front of strangers in a stand-up routine and shared your secret with the world. That betrays this thing that you claim you hold sacred. This idea that you just compartmentalize and that all these things that are independent are not going to clash is not real. You do, at some point, how you behave here affects how you behave there. The idea that these two things are like separate, but they overlap, but they can coexist. No. If some things are diametrically opposed, engaging in this behavior here will fuck up what you believe here. And that's called cognitive dissonance, I believe, is the idea that you're trying to hold these two ideas simultaneously, not recognizing.
You're looking at them, they clearly have an understanding that that's okay to talk about them things outside. Like, she's talking about it, he's talking about it, so what's the problem?
That's not the point. It's not about how they understand it. It's about the concept of what virginity is supposed to represent, what chastity is supposed to represent. The same way Pokemon might have to understand with every that she meets that, celibacy is just not kissing on the first date. It don't matter how they understand it between each other. These are concepts that exist in the world. Words have meanings. You're going with the literal definition, not understanding there's a principle behind the word. That's akin to saying I'm a virgin because I didn't have a wiener in my vagina, okay? But then you sucked 100 on a Saturday. Huh? That betrays the essence of what virginity is supposed to represent.
100%, but what?
That's what I'm talking about.
No, it does not. It does not, because then again, yes, it does not.
I don't agree with that part, though, because you are a virgin if you did not have vaginal penetration. Okay? Nobody said you could still be considered a hoe. People might call you a hoe if you're sucking 100 dicks, because that's oral sex, but a virgin has to do with vaginal sex.
It does not, because these people that allow this shit to happen, I got a back door. When they're gonna look at that place in their scripture that said that virginity is the breakage of the hymen. If it's not broken, we're good. They're gonna be so specific with the definition that people are gonna roll their eyes. It's not just having intercourse for the scriptures. For the scriptures, it is hymen broken. That's what I know from my church. That you can have your definition or whatever, whatnot. It's not. They never talk about dick. They never put emphasis on hand and dick. They're not or the mouth. They're not putting emphasis on none of that. The emphasis when you walk in a church, I'm talking about church because that's what I know. I don't know about them. The six, so maybe it is. But the emphasis that is put when you go to church is the hymen. They're being broken.
I disagree. It's part of the context in regards to chastity in general. It's a matter of a sector of behavior that accompanies that.
He that committed fornication and adultery, you are sinning against your own body. And the Bible says...
By the way, I'm not religious, so I don't know. What they talking about in terms of religion. I'm just speaking of what I know it to be. Just the definition. That's just the definition of it. But if you go into the religious meaning, then I don't know, it's something different.
That you have sinned against your own body. It means there is your spiritual nature that is actually involved in the act. It can't be the body. Your body will not be accurate.
It sounds like it's a church child.
Your body will produce error. That is why it is a sin against the body, but not done by the body. It has to be something else apart from the body.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the literal aspect of the law. I think I'm talking about the spirit and all the verbiage that comes around it. But the spirit is what I'm talking about. That's how we redefine words. We get so hyperfixated on the exact terms that we lose the essence of what it means to be this.
I get so painfully nostalgic for college. So for context, I went to college from 2011 to 2016. I was popping my pussy and living my best life in these white boy frat houses, and I had a roster of guys that I would rotate.
I got some butt stories.
Wait, okay, I have 2 butthole stories. So one time...
I got 8 out on my period.
If your man is weird about periods, that's a red flag. When I was in college, I dated this guy, and he was going down on me, and like, wouldn't you know it, I was still spotting.
So, she doesn't know, she's saying these things, but, she's performing this hypersexual character that's not her, okay? Even the performance of this hypersexual character is against the idea of the restraint that you have with the spirit of chastity. And so even when you take her at her word and you believe her, her very behavior betrays what it is that she claims to hold sacred. And I think it's okay, especially coming from cultures where this kind of idea of virginity is not a choice. It's something oftentimes that's very much pressured onto us in regards to our parents and things we inherit. I think it's okay to have this inner conflict. I think it's okay to say, I'm going to be a virgin, but I also live in this Western context, and I want to live my life, but I'm going to not cross this one barrier. I'm going to do oral, I'm going to it'll be on my period, I'm going to be being these frat boys.
That's crazy.
You know, I understand that some of this is inherited and it's not fair, right? Especially for women, that's a pressure that they put on them heavily from old customs, things like that. So even though you might not even be religious, if you come from specific cultures, they really put that pressure on you. So I think it's okay to kind of want to break away from that. But you cannot do both things simultaneously. You can't hold your virginity as this point of pride and also betray the spirit of what it is. I think one thing that also is a bit tough is I've noticed, like, especially for women, there's like a big trend with like performing this kind of like hypersexuality online. Problem with the hypersexuality that, you know, for example, Justine did, is that when some of them perform it, they perform it as if they were men. And they perform it for a global audience, hoping to get like the kind of adulation, and then they get a lot of this pushback. One, you know, if you believe in this kind of like feminist ideology, you believe in the patriarchy is what it is, men will never respect you for performing hypersexuality the way that they. First off, the kind of men who perform hypersexuality online are already seen as fairly gross by quite a lot of people. So the idea that your form of liberation is emulating the gross behavior that they do is already setting you back. Yeah, I mean, you could even take the exact line she said. Imagine if I was like, I was going to these sorority houses, throwing my dick around at everyone. I was living my best life. That's not a good look. That's never going to be a time where folks are like, oh, fuck yeah. Most people are going to think you're a loser. And it's an ironic thing because she criticized the red pillars, the kind of guys who yap about this shit all the time.
Yeah,
but then you just look like the female version that you talk just like it.
But even if you don't yap about it like that, if you yap about it like that, it looks also like, this guy's talking, it's corny because it looks like you're talking like it was your best days. Mm-hmm. And you got nothing else to show for.
Like
if
that
your
was your
relationship
peak.
is not really going to look good either.
Like to be a stay-at-home wife, and is there really such a thing? Every time I tell my friends I want to manifest a man who is a provider and I want to be at home to take care of the kids, they say it's basically unrealistic and living in a fantasy world, but I really just want to be in my feminine energy and providing.
Okay, I want you guys to keep note of this term, feminine energy, divine feminine, okay? And then stay-at-home wife, and you'll hear something like choice feminism. These are like terms you just want to keep in mind, okay?
Other ways, not just financially.
It's kind of mean of your friends to say that that's living in a fantasy world, especially because you're just talking about manifesting, and you absolutely should manifest the life that you want. Like when you manifest, there's no limit to your dreams. Like you should reach for the stars.
Just remember, like, in dreams, I agree with them. I think if you want to shoot for the stars, shoot for the stars. But their idea of a dream is like
laziness, because you're not going to sit home and take care of the kids.
There are no kids. And like
Jocelyn cooks, she cleans, she maintains her home. Is that true?
Yes.
There you go.
Not by me specifically, but yes.
I go on the road, I come back, it's clean. I don't know if you hire somebody or if that's you, but every time I come back, it's clean.
I hire someone, yeah.
My God. If Akaash is gone all the time, you got to pick up after yourself. So now you hire someone to pick up after your shit. It's not a goal. Your goal is laziness, basically.
I did, and some of the comments were like, oh, your husband gives you this lifestyle, but you only cook once a week, obviously, like, made by men. And it's like, yeah, where in my marriage contract did I sign in blood, if I become a stay-at-home wife, I will cook and clean every single day? But listen, if I don't even have enough discipline to work a 9-to-5 job, what makes you think I have enough discipline to get all the groceries, get all the ingredients, prep all the ingredients, cook the food?
So,
let me, like...
I thought that was the point of a stay-at-home.
She's talking like cooking takes 17 hours of your day. In 1 hour, you're done, including the groceries. Like, what do you mean? If the only thing that you do is cooking, that's 7 hours in a week. Like, what are we talking about? But that's okay. That's the life you chose. That's on you. That's on you. But don't claim feminism. That's not feminism. That's monarchy.
You have triggered my trap card.
Yes.
On top of it, I feel like biggest misconceptions for me that people think about me is they think I'm like super anti-feminist or because I live with my in-laws. Oh, first of all, I'm feminist when it's convenient to me already, so I don't know. That's what it is.
I agree with that.
Also,
I'm sick of these keyboard warriors. Like, we all cherry pick because at the end of the day, we're all using iPhones that are mined from like slave labor in copper mines in Africa. And I'm so sick of people talking about choice feminism is the worst form of feminism. How? I choose to be a stay-at-home wife. I enjoy it. It's not something that's required of me. So it's like, stop knocking people for what they choose.
Exactly. And
all right. So the key term there is choice feminism. Is the idea that since women have now garnered these rights and have reached a certain level of equality, that any choice that they make in this society is a reflection of feminism because it exemplifies their newfound freedom. She's saying anything we be doing, be feminist. There's like this growing trend now where people are calling it empowering to get into these like stay-at-home life situations where you do nothing except offer your divine feminine.
I was actually going to say I hate the word sole provider because I feel like when you're not providing a paycheck, that doesn't mean that you're not providing in a relationship.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Like you're providing, I feel energy. Like energy. Like you're the heart of. of the relationship, you know, and that means a lot of like holding space for maybe the stress that's going on, like you're doing maybe.
What do you mean we don't fucking do nothing? We're here fucking providing energy, bro. You know what I mean? You know when your coach like, get back in there. That's what a coach is supposed to do.
That's the wrong energy. Because you're doing too much. You have to just be there.
It's divine.
Yes. She's not touching him.
So this like idea now, which was that anything is benefiting the feminist movement and like women's rights or whatever it is. And like there's an irony too, because there's a big problem with the patriarchy. She always complains about like misogyny and all this stuff. And very way you want to carry your life, everything that you spend your time doing reinforces red pillars. It reinforces misogyny in a lot of ways. Because if you think about it, she spends most of her day doing Pilates, making sure she looks good, making sure she's wearing expensive stuff, and she doesn't do any labor. She is the quintessential thing that red pillars complain about. 100%. And she sees it also as empowering because it's a choice that she can make in the society that feminists fought for. She doesn't recognize it is hurting the feminist cause. It does hurt. When people like her go out and promote this shit, it hurts these people. And it really does justify what red pillars say. Think about it. She looks at her man and she thinks about how awesome he is. Because of...
But no, it don't justify shit. I hate when people take one situation and try to use that to, verify or validate their fucked up ideology. No, this is one situation. This is not the norm. This is why we're paying so much attention to it, and it is so interesting. It's because this is so abnormal. So using this to be like, see, look, it's like, you sound stupid, because this does not typically occur at all.
And he thinks how awesome she is, and her behavior is justified because of how pretty she is.
Objectively gorgeous. Me, So that's what you gotta do. I gotta work my ass off, and then every time she starts looking at me and she starts assessing my beauty, I just throw it back at that bitch.
No, it's cracking jokes. Like I'm not here to, but these are also born from a real place. And so you have her here talking about, I don't cook, I don't clean. It's a lot of work to get all these ingredients and all this stuff. But she spends her time doing what? Making sure she looks good. She goes to get her nails done. She spends time documenting her day, going to Pilates. What are all these things? They're reinforcing her physical state, her beauty, her looks. What do red pillars say women are good for? To proudly proclaim herself as a stay-at-home wife. Even that title, I feel like it's almost kind of nasty that she grabs it, because stay-at-home wives for a long time were respected because of the labor that they provided at home. And you guys might be thinking, well, that's because they're poor or whatever. Labor is not just a matter of monetary value. Labor is how you show you care about somebody. Effort matters when you're in a relationship. Effort matters to your kids. You could pay someone to go take your kids to football practice. You showing up matters to them. I can fold my partner's clothes, or I can hire someone else. It means something totally different when my partner does it. Labor in a relationship is how you show love. Okay? If my partner just focused on making herself...
Also, some people don't like hiring people to do, like, intimate things like that. Like, I had a cleaner for a bit, but I don't know. I kind of don't want you around some of my shit. I don't even know you like that. And, on top of that, you don't really know how I specifically like my shit. And where I want this put exactly. So I didn't care for it personally. So yeah, some people just don't like hiring help for that reason. You would like your woman, your stay-at-home wife, to do these things instead.
Good. What kind of values
being around your kids? Because also that's a big concern as well. Having these people who are around your kids, you don't know what they're capable of.
Children, that their ability to get love from people is predicated on their looks. And for all you people who are ugly, you're shit out of luck. These are things that make people value women exclusively on their looks. And that's why I think a lot of this stuff betrays the very notions that these people claim to uphold. They say it's empowerment. What's empowering on relying on somebody else for all your income whilst providing no value outside of what you look like physically? But it's like, why do you call yourself a stay-at-home wife?
Because it doesn't matter, because it's what they're saying. Right? It's just like sacred, right? It's just like sacred, right? I'm gonna find a loophole, but it says stay at home. Okay, but it says stay at home. That's what I'm saying. When I was talking about people trying to find loopholes, it's the same thing. The whole term stay at home meant doing this, doing that. Nah, I stay at home, so I'm good.
Yeah, they're taking that term a little too literally. Like, yeah, I stay at home, so I'm a stay at home. I would assume that entails you like cooking and cleaning, because it's like if you're not doing anything else, like I would assume that would be the bare minimum. And they don't even have kids. If he's paying for everything, like I do think that's a bit odd. But hey, it's their relationship. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. They like it. I love it. I don't have to live there. I ain't got to be with him. I ain't got to be with her and deal with her nonsense. So it's like, okay, this is what they think works for their relationship, then sure. So yeah, let's just leave them be. People wanted me to check this out, sure, but at this point, I'm willing to put this completely to rest and let them go ahead and live their lives. I don't need to comment on this any further. So that's all I got. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.